All right, folks. I just thought I'd chime in on some of the things I've been seeing with articles with respect to player development, right? And so we just had our preseason. We're coming up on conditioning week next week, and it's my first time with the program, so I'm learning some things and I'm watching. But what I'm seeing in terms of the cultural issues, right? In how the players are being developed. So we definitely have a bias towards POMO, uh, direct, very direct play, right? And here's the thing with soccer: there's nothing right or wrong about it, right? It's a game of probabilities, and luck is really, 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 really influential in the game, right? And so basically, almost doing anything, players are fungible for the most part. And, you still have to beat the goalie, and 5 players can defend the net. And so, uh, even the worst teams are going to win 1/3 of their games, or at least 15%, no matter what. Stuff happens. And so separating the cultural bias from the chaff, from the noise that luck makes in the analysis is what's really, really important, right? And Americans, oddly enough, are really good at this, right? The problem is that they use that information to bet, gamble on soccer, and not to develop players. And what you're getting is that direct play is going to win you 1/3 of the games. So if you just play 3 times more games, then you're going to win trophies. You're going to win games. You're going to win championships or whatever it is, right? You manipulate the competition pool, and you're going to win. But what's underlying that is just luck, just randomness. And the fact that we're teaching these kids to never pass sideways, never pass backwards, right? Without understanding what the context is, what the net value is, right? Of possession, for instance, under certain circumstances, right? The kids that are actually making correct decisions and not forcing the play are being weeded out because they just don't fit this playing style, which is very biased towards athleticism and direct play. I mean, that's fine if Germany was winning the World Cup, right? Red Bull gets away with it because they can find cheap players, right? That's what's not right now. It's positional play or fluid possession play. Those players are very expensive, right? And teaching those highly technical players that can fall back on the fluid game, teaching them to play directly, the way Barcelona is doing, a mix of or balance of both, is probably the optimal way to play, right? But if we only develop direct players who are very physical, attack the wide open spaces and then cross the ball into zone 14, we're just going to produce counterattacks. The game is skewed towards counterattacking, right? And now it's just a roll of the dice, and that's what you're seeing. And people are getting smart to it, right? People understanding that's not going to work. They can look at the product and say, "Oh, this is not right." And for instance, the countries that are doing well, right, have a mix of both. So Bielsa and Argentina, Bielsa kind of instilled some variance, more direct play from the basic nuts and bolts of Boca Juniors game model, right? But the Boca Juniors game model was in place. And the direct play, the velocity play, was a layer that's added on top. So they had the most variety. They had the best of both worlds. We're very one-dimensional. And Pochettino is actually a good pick, in my opinion, because you're starting to see some varied play, right? It's going to take time. But you are starting to see more solutions, more and better solutions. But it's about that. It's about giving the kids the solutions, you doing the analysis, and we don't know what the solutions are. The solutions come from futsal, right? If you look at Luka Modric and the Croatians play futsal. Look at the Catalans play futsal, right? Look at the Uruguayans and the Argentinians play futsal. If you look at Ian Graham's machine learning models, what the computer came up with in terms of predicting where weakness is in a defense, especially a zone defense, it's a futsal solution, right? If you look at David Sumter's on the ball, off the ball structure, sort of magic funnel, attack small, counter press model, it's a futsal solution. It comes from futsal, right? The Brazilian team still plays by the principles of futsal, the high block, mixed zone. Arteta is going to instill a lock zone press, so a mixed zone press with a lock. I mean, we don't know what that is, but it's from futsal, right? In particular, Argentinian futsal, right? So, you know, I don't know what to say, right? It's a simple thing: futsal, analysis, and analytics, which is what the Spanish national team learned. And, we are the second largest by population Latino country in the world. I think we have 70 million Latinos in the United States, right? And at what point are we going to give up the German game model? Just because it's the most accessible. It's not the one that's optimized to win, right? So Argentina can do both. When they need a goal, right? First 10, 15 minutes each half, it's very direct. They go forward. They get the goal. When they get the goal, it's la nuestra. Their back is to the defender. They pull the ball away, and all of a sudden you can't see the ball. Go look at the final. So it's the ability to do it all, right? And are we really coaching that with our youth development? Are we really coaching? I mean, maybe Dallas FC is, I ain't gonna lie. But are we really coaching how to execute multiple game models? And why not, right? Because it's all on the internet. It's all in books. Ian Graham put it into a book. David Sumter from Barca Innovation Hub, I guess he coaches at Malmo now, put it in a book. And we know it works. We can just look at Brighton, Brentford, Midtjylland, even Pep Guardiola's iterations, how they very quickly iterate to come up with new solutions. You can come up with a solution, and there's AI. You can ask the computer. Well, you can go to thetackbot.com, our website, and launch the beta is free, and just iterate away, right? But the solutions, and I'll leave with this, from the book Blueprint, like what you're actually doing in terms of giving a solution. Your solutions are this: your physical performance. If it's in the game, you have to train the physical elements of it. And those physical elements that you're training have got to match the technical requirements. So between physical and technical, it's in the game, you got to train it, right? And then you have to specialize. So you have to triage your physical and technical elements and make sure that for each player, they match the overall strategy. And then you train those elements to the point of specialization. And, just giving people problems to solve, the old drill model, or here are the conditions, here are the constraints, probably not going to do it. It's more of, here are the solutions, play 5-10 minutes, 5v5, 50 by 80, murder ball, and then assess whether or not the solutions were implemented. Rinse, repeat. That's it. It's no more complicated than that. And the Croatians are very, very clear on it. They have a manual, right? Develop the engrams, they call them. Put the game, every element, into little 5-second bite-sized morsels. Train those morsels. Play 5v5. And then when you pick players, especially under 14, don't pick the kids born in January. Pick the kids for their decision-making tendencies, right? The average American player only executes 70% of their decisions. And that will almost guarantee that you're going to lose. Anyway, that's my thought of the day. And I'll post this a little later. Thanks, guys.